Hello, fellow humans. Thank you for going back to my musical intros. So, hold on, dramatic fade. That was too dramatic. Let me do it again. Hold on. One day, I have assistance and this will be seamless, but let me try again. Oh, way better. You know, it's nice to have ambition, right? Sometimes you'd be like, why do I even like, why do I do this to myself? Can't I just be happy with what I have? But no, no. Ambition keeps us going. It keeps us having a reason to wake up every day. Like if you still have goals to do, you're more likely to wake up like, hey, doing this today, as opposed to if you're just languishing or you have no ambition or motivation except for survival. Guys, at one point, and this is a tragic tale. My favorite show was The Walking Dead. And when I was like, why am I still watching this? What is the point? What are they even surviving for? What did they keep going for? But it was because it was the only show that made me like feel comfortable with my life where it was. Like every time stuff seemed like it was stable and it was about to go good, then something happened and we had to like move again or just like craziness. And the only show that made me feel like was The Walking Dead, but was sort of in The Walking Dead. It was survival mode constantly. So now living a, I don't want to say ambition driven because that could be a slippery slope, right? Because there comes a time where it's just like pure ambition. You don't have anywhere you want to stop. And then next thing you know, you're just trying to move a bunch of people out of a place that they don't need to be moved out of so you can build some like real estate that you can benefit from in a country that's not even yours. You know, ambition can be a strange thing, but goal oriented. I think that's fine because then you have a stopping point. Then you know, hey, this was the thing I was reaching for. Now you can assess after you reach that goal if you want to create some more, but just as long as you do the main thing, I feel like that's connected to a sense of purpose. Like it's important to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you can get washed up in everything that gets thrown your way, every opportunity, everybody's ideas, even seeing other people's ideas. Sometimes you feel like you need that because you saw somebody else achieve it, but it has nothing to do with what you came to do or what you even wanted in the first place. So the cards for this week, and I know it's Wednesday, y'all. I usually be here on Monday, but I'll explain in a minute. Invisible cloak, right? And more than words. The more than words actually came from this freaking song. And I don't want to not get their names right because it's a pair of brothers and it's like their only song that I know. But when we made these cards, is what popped in my head. Extreme, more than words. All right, so invisible cloak, more than words. No idea what this means at this time, but it is the theme for this week. Hold on, I started getting invisible cloak, more than words. Of course, this is spiritual, right? Something or somebody is not revealing themselves in the physical. Would telepathic stuff be considered more than words? I mean, kind of, right? Y'all caught me listening to that was Rihanna, Turn Towards the Sun. It's from the or it's just turns, it's towards the sun. You know how black people had this thing of renaming everything to like some bar in the song? We do it with movies too. Like with my kids, I don't even refer to Nightmare on Elm Street as Nightmare on Elm Street. We just say, hey, y'all ready to watch Freddy? But it's Towards the Sun from the Home soundtrack. And the significance of home is that spiral right there. So every time you guys see the spiral, that is a subconscious trigger to help you remember to get back home. And home is like with God. If you even watch that movie, after I just told you that, and it's a kids movie, but it's a deep, deep message in it. You'll be like, holy shit. Like, yes, we started out as like Aborigines. That wasn't where we originally started, but that's like a big piece of this film and seeing how stuff got changed, which technically connects to that smart ass comment I just made about a particular ambitious individual trying to take over some land that was not there. Quite a few different pieces of land. Ambition went from leader of the most powerful country in the world to maybe I should rule the world. Like, who's whispering in his ear? So, anyways, I'm trying to think. Oh, telepathic stuff. I started only listening to music that didn't have any like hidden meaning because I felt like there was somebody talking to me, or there was an energy like constantly sending me stuff, but it was making me feel like I was losing my mind. Not because I don't know that like my skills are legit, because I use them all the time and I be accurate and I hear spot on so much that I can't deny that. Like I'm not actually losing my mind, but getting messages from outside of myself and not knowing where they're coming from or they're coming from this person, like it got overwhelming. So I started listening to Enya. All my stuff I listen to now is like meditative. Like it all almost puts me to sleep. And I have been like hella sleepy lately, but it's all like waves. I'm gonna guess that it's slower waves, and I really would like to get into understanding different waves more. What intrigued me the other day, guys, right? I was going to sleep. I don't go to sleep to subliminals. I don't really like subliminals, but I will do them because they have been so much help. Once I push myself back that past that, I don't like mind control. I don't like anything that is mind control-y. When I hear whispering and shit, I'm like, mm-mm. If you tell me there's a coded message in this, it's like, I don't, it messes with me. Even watching Heroes, I remember this is like when Heroes first came out before I even knew any of this stuff. There's a character on there and his skill is he's telepathic, but he's able to lock other people in visions in their minds, right? I was like, that's like the worst thing I could imagine happening to somebody, just being locked in their own shit, right? So I don't like subliminals for that reason, unless I'm awake and I'm sitting through it. I was going to try something different and I put on one to go to sleep, just a little 8-hour sacral one. And I was like, okay, Aisha, you can do this. Like, you don't even have headphones on, so you can't hear. It's not bad. I'd be playing it off my TV. So I went to go put on the subliminals and it was rain. And it said the subliminals were in the background. So I'm like, cool. But as I go to sleep, right? Right when I reach that point, that is like the liminal space, when you are not all the way asleep, but you feel yourself like rising from your body, like that point, then suddenly I hear, I could hear the subliminals. And I could only surmise, if you will, that that's because the waves in my brain like slowed down enough to hear what was in the background. Maybe that's also how you pick up telepathic messages, period. Like different waves. Like even if somebody's dreaming of you or thinking about you, it'll find its way to you. And in this case, I think it's been coming through like music a lot. I made a post 2 days ago about the song named Ben, because that was coming in my head and that made no sense. But I'm like, all right, I have been listening to really like chill, older music, trying to avoid messages I don't understand because it was making me think about it too much. And it just like, it was starting to like weigh on me. Like, where is this like coming from? So I made a post the other day and I was like, hey guys, I don't know where this song Ben is coming from. Does anybody have like any info on it? So a girl or a lady, sorry, on the post said, Ben means son of the right. And when I, son of the right hand. And when I heard that, I was like, hold on, the right hand. In the Bible, the right hand symbolizes power, favor, strength. So being called the son of the right hand signifies a special position of blessing and authority. But I'm like, hold on, who the right hand? And I know we went over this before, but Jesus is seated at the right hand. Was his name Ben at one point? I'm writing Ben named Jesus. This is so hard. Because it's like all the information is here, but then it's like a remix. Yahshua ben Joseph, his Aramaic name, because he was the son of Joseph, son of the right hand. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody do with that what you will. But either way, Ben kept popping up. And it's just so lovely. Like, I know those other brothers was mad about Michael because his voice was just like, oh, like, man, fuck Michael. He get all the solos. His voice is beautiful. But anyways, so invisible cloak, more than words. Let's get into this. And I'm actually going to flip these out. When y'all see me lay cards down, I swear one day, I'm like building on to my goals and motivation. One day I am going to have me on this camera, and then I'm going to have another camera here that shows like what I'm doing. Because I'm always actually, when y'all see me, I'm using my keyboard and I put the cards on that first for the, like the main themes, and then I build underneath. So it's really like cute. So, all right, I'm gonna start with the Prism Oracle. And this is just gonna be a channel message today, guys. I'm hopping back in, getting my feet wet. Was unable to do anything this week. Like, I want to say it's because of that whole endometriosis period thing I had going on. And yes, TMI, guys, I'm going to tell you everything, whatever. I'm a real person like y'all. We go through stuff. But no, Aquarius season hit. And it's like this Aquarius season, the energy of humanity is dense. It did not help that we had a new moon. And so we all got like a piece of the heaviness for us to transmute to help others. I couldn't even conjure up any light to come on here and be like, hey guys. Until today, when I got the message that there's somebody that wants to say thank you to me. And I mean, I guess there are a lot of y'all here, but I don't know. It just felt like significant. There's somebody who, like, I helped them without me even knowing I helped them through their spiritual awakening through a really hard time. I was very inspirational in helping pull them out of something dark. And they wanted to say thank you. I don't know. It was a sorry in there too. I don't know what that's about, but I would never know unless somebody who's in the invisible cloak stepped forward. But I mean, technically it could be anybody, but you're welcome. I'm showing up to do my job. And hearing that message actually gave me a boost to be able to come on today. Like, I didn't have any particularly inspiring messages to come on here with over the last couple of days because I was getting so much political, governmental, apocalypse revelation stuff. And I don't want to make that what I talk about like all the time, right? I made one video. If you want to know what that video is, it's called Chaos Theory. It was made 4 months ago. It's February now, 4 months ago. It'll be there forever. I said I was going to make that video and I was going to say everything that I had picked up, everything that I got told that my life got ripped apart in order for me to be of assistance for. And now it's sort of coming to fruition. So when that started, I guess it sort of messed up my morale a little. Like, oh, I'm trying to teach people cool stuff, but don't nobody want to hear that when like people are dying, Kim. Like, that's the energy I started feeling off of it. But knowing that there are still people out here just trying to survive and not focus on what's going on and trying to be the light in that in any way, shape, or form, I could be help to somebody who was close to the edge or in a dark space. I am glad to be a blessing. And I have no idea what the apology would be for. But I'm like super chill. I'm super forgiving. Like, even when I'm really mad about something, I can't stay mad for long because when I go to sleep at night, I guess I'm going to go home and talk to God. And then the next day I'm going to come back down like Kung Fu Panda. And I'm just going to be like, we all go through stuff. So don't be afraid to say something, whoever you are, whatever happened. I'm chill. And it would be nice, whoever is sending me telepathic messages, because they're lovely songs, lovely messages, if you would just say something that would really help me not feel like I'm losing my mind all the time. And it's not even like regular losing your mind. It's just like, oh my gosh, why does this song keep playing in my head? Why do these certain movies keep popping up? It's like the same theme over and over again. So what is the theme for this invisible cloak, more than words message today? Something popped out. Radiation. Now I feel like I need to get the real definition of ideation, but ideation is like dreaming up stuff, thinking up stuff, pondering upon the formation of ideas or concepts. Okay. Invisible cloak, more than words. Not going to take it off that first card. Anxiety, rejection, creativity. I be geeking out. So, lock in, sis, lock in. Is that weird if I just start doing that? I know we're like Professor X. Like, hold on, will it work? Because I noticed we're radios. I'm just trying to attune my antenna. So sometimes you'll see me look off or I'll look down, but I'm just trying to like lock in. But what if I could lock in like that's just dramatic, right? But all right, hold on, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try not to think about it because as soon as I think about it, I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna geek. All right, so one day I'll be mature. Maybe when I'm 100. Not before that, it's too early. All right. No, it's not gonna work. So okay, I need to get a personified card, guys. This is about a particular person or collective. This could be incoming or outcoming, guys. But it appears someone has thought of something so much or thought over something so much that they've given themselves anxiety and now they're like afraid of being rejected for whatever their ideas are. Whatever the idea, whatever creative idea they had, they done pulled it apart, put it back together, pulled it apart and put it back together again so much so that they don't even know anymore. So, and this is still going with the invisible cloak more than words, y'all. So who is this person? Who is this person? Keep in mind, guys, we work in archetypes, like this archetype deck. We work in collectives, like there are certain groups of people, like everybody who has a Leo rising between the 20th and the 25th degree would all be the same archetype or collective. Or if you had an Aquarius sun between the 5th and the 10th, just every 5 decades is ruled by the same energy. So the same collective would resonate with that message because it's a part of your soul storyline. That's the big soul above. So, okay. Who does it do? Go from 2 decks. I'm gonna use this character one too. Oh, one I don't use that much that I got that just popped in my head, which probably means something since I am tapped in from the moment that I and my decks dropped from the moment that I start the video, pretty much, probably even before. But so I was doing this, I just got like a physical etch features video popped in my head. So who is this person that has thought so much that they have given themselves anxiety? This could even be somebody who won't move forward with their own ideas. Because the rejection of creativity is like they're rejecting their own ideas, not following their own intuition. Interesting. So I asked who this was from, and I'm gonna do one more pull from this one just so I can lock it in because I felt like the cards just did what they wanted to because they knew I'd be able to understand that they decided to do it as to and from. So who is this message from? It might be tricky and see who's under that cloak. Let's see. A sexy urban person. I'm saying urban because it was, oh no, it's a man. A man who likes to wear street fashions. Although this is probably the worst example of street fashion I could have imagined. Like, what is street about this? Is it the jacket? One day I'm gonna do these live so y'all can respond. At first, I couldn't do them live because I was nervous about being distracted. Because y'all know my ADD. Even when I'm doing these readings, sometimes I'll tell like 5 different stories at one time, then bring it back all together. Sometimes I drop the ball when I go too far, but I'm trying to work on that. But I was nervous that if I had a live going on and I'm doing this and I like start answering questions, then I'm never gonna find my way back home. I'm never gonna finish a reading. I'll be too busy. But I think uh maybe I am boxing myself. Like I can talk and still do the reading. But it would be nice to have some feedback. I've been doing this talking to a screen for years. Maybe this was just prep for me to get used to it. So this person kind of has freckles too. Not a full face of freckles, but like for instance, hi, this is my arm, guys. Is it even showing? With pale, like I have little, oh, I showed y'all the wrong size. I have little freckles, right? And they actually sprout up everywhere, but like randomly, like I'm continuously freckling as I get older and they'll pop up on my face and like my boobs just, I am turning back into a constellation. That's the way I like to look at it. But that's what I picture when I saw this freckles card. It wasn't somebody that has like a full face of freckles, but they have like, you're a consolation too, whoever you are. So, man that wears street fashion, average build. My mind is funny. It says sexy slim, sexy slender, but the card says average physique. Uh, brown family. And by that, I mean like they're brown pride, like they'd be brown skinned with brown hair, dark hair, naturally, or even close to black hair. Those are the physical attributes. I can't, there's no way around that. These are very written out. Yeah, it's anywhere on the tan spectrum of colors. This is absolutely I hate saying minority, person of color. And why whenever I say person of color does it sound like person of interest? This place is jacked up. Just all the stuff that we associate immediately when we hear something. I guess that is programming, right? All the stereotypes and the things that we assume go along with certain things, or how they're just jogged in your head as soon as you hear them, like person of interest, subject. Okay, so the character oracle cards, right? A careerist. And I've never heard of a careerist, right? Dual-sided personality, but it says dreamer of grand schemes, vision, cunning. What is that word? I don't know that one. And aspiration. But that aspiration made me think about like how I started this out about aspiration, goals, dreams, ambition. I'm about to look up this other word because I need to know what it means because I can't pronounce it. No shame. I'm not even going to butcher it. I'm going to type it into here. Because of what? The word means plot or scheme.
Machination. Machination.
Machination. A scheming or crafty action, artful design. When a James Bond villain comes up with a plan to destroy the world, he doesn't use a simple plan. No, he uses a machination, a complex plot that relies on numerous elements coming together in order for it to work. That's kind of hot though, right? Like a grand plan, but does not dream of grand schemes. Okay. Invisible cloak, more than words. Next one was boss. That goes with that aspiration, ambition, vision. This is master of wealth, risk, investment, manager, leader. What's funny about this is ninja. So this person is a stealthy, secretive, Shadow walker is the word that stands out to me here. This is giving mastermind energy. But like, Mega Mind just popped in my head, but I also looked over at the picture of my son. My son's middle name is Lex, right? You'll hear me call all my kids a million names, like if they're in the background of these videos. But the Lex came from Lex Luthor. My mom called me one day while she was watching Smallville. I was pregnant with him, and she was like, I think you need to name him Lex Luthor. I don't know. It just makes sense. So his middle name is Lexington, but it's an homage. But that is the energy that I just got from this. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a watcher of Superman. I don't know the main plot. I mean, there's laser eye flying dude and kryptonite, and then he got Lois Lane, forever fated to not be together, but together energy. But I have no idea what Lex was mad about or what he was masterminding. I just know that he ended up making his way to the top of the chain, right? And he was just like the nemesis. I don't know why or any of that. But Samuel L. Jackson just popped in my head. But the character that he played, not in Split, what was the one that followed Split? Of course, it's the same character through every film, but it's particularly the mastermind energy that came through. What is the movie that follows Split, y'all? Can I say Split #2? That's not the name of it. Glass. That's it, which is the third. So, Mr. Glass. That means something. That's what I'm feeling now. Whoever this person is. But that would make sense that they done thought up so many ideas, they done made themselves nervous, and then now they're starting to work against their own creativity, their own ideas. Soldier and magician also popped up. So a very strong person who pushes themselves no matter the obstacles and makes things happen for themselves. This person is without a doubt someone who has, in some way, shape, or form, made a name for themselves or carved out a position in life that is comfortable for them. But I am feeling and sensing that never enough. That's what I heard. It's like the ambition grows. This person's hunger grows the more they get. And then even when they reach their goals, it's not hitting some note that they have in their head. They don't even know what this marker or this, that's how the feeling I'm getting, what this marker or this goal or this plateau or this destination is, but they know they haven't hit them, but it's overwhelming them, like it haunts them day and night that they need to hit a certain mark. So what is the mark they need to hit? And then I'm going to get back to this first set of cards I got. Is it a financial mark? Hold on. Nope. I got guided and I didn't even realize these cards were not in the right place. I'm going to go with this map deck and this Chronicles of Destiny, because this tells you like where you are on your hero's journey. But this map is like destinations. So this person might not even know where they're headed. And I feel like I could even be talking to this actual person or somebody who needs to hear this message about someone. Either way, I'm doing my job. I had a Professor X. So, ideation, anxiety, rejection, creativity. What is this person coming up with ideas about? That should narrow it down some, right? Where do you find God? How do you find God? How do you feel God? Spirit of place. But that's the feeling I got. But no. How do I get to heaven? How do I find my heaven on earth? You see, I'm saying that because this card's movement, right? This one's Peaks of Joy, and this one is called Spirit of Place. The Spirit of Place is the one that made me feel like somebody reaching out. like spiritually. Like, hey, are you there, God? Can you hear me? Like, right? Ooh, that's why the ambition feels like a cup that can't be filled. Like, no matter what you get, it's not enough because what you're seeking in the material isn't actually what you're really seeking. You thought you were looking for money or success or something like that, but what you're seeking is like a feeling, like the connection that usually only comes from God that gives you fulfillment. This movement one, look in the background. There's still somebody floating in the background, like coming away from a rock bottom, though. It feels like that rock bottom has to do with, in some ways, getting everything you thought you wanted and finding out, holy shit, that still didn't make it go away. There is a feeling, but anxiety, like mental parasites, that even when you're trying to feel like you're okay, there's something still bothering you. So now, after trying every avenue that you thought would lead you to happiness, you are brought back to maybe what you know from childhood. Like, maybe this is where I need to go back to. Maybe this is where I went wrong. You just know you need to get away from this, that rock bottom anxious feeling of, it feels rushy. Like, well, you definitely can't rush an awakening or a connection with source. Mhm. But it deeply feels like this person is willing to move towards it, but they keep backing away from it. It's double Dutch going on here. So like, having everything else that you thought you wanted material without the spiritual is making the material feel empty. If you had the other part, the spiritual part, then everything else would look its actual color. This person doesn't have on their glasses. This is a Free Guy reference. I love that movie, guys. Top 10 business. But in the movie Free Guy, everybody sleep like dormant, like in CPU or NPC mode. But when you get a special pair of glasses, you can see all the cheats and all the things that you couldn't see in the game before. Somebody is like, hold the fuck on. Nope. Nope. Wait, no way. That's what I'm getting. So part of that rejection is the door is open, but will you walk through it? Are you willing to walk through it? Are you just going to keep teetering on the edge? So let me help you out here, person. What does this person need in order to feel fulfilled? For the anxiety and the rejection of their own intuition to go away. What does this person need? But that invisible cloak, more than words. More than words. Spirit is more than words. This person went through it. You went through it. Who knew this was going to be so intense? So, what had popped up over here when I pulled for the archetype? Like, hey, what's this message from? Who's this message like for? I was asking from, but I got the for. Like over here, we clearly saw that that was a masculine energy, right? But over here, it's a mother, a Samaritan, a writer, possibly even somebody poetic. But the poet thing didn't necessarily stand out to me. It was the expresses soul insights in symbolic language. Like she's speaking and doves are coming out of her mouth. Like she speaks freedom over others as a part of her guide, her guide. But no, that's literally, it's a guide, a servant, and a liberator. It seems like this person would be able to help that person. Like this person, the male energy would like to hear from God directly, like a PSA, but he doesn't understand like you are hearing from God directly. You just keep saying, no, 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 no. No way. That can't be from me. That can't be from God. I'm tripping. But it's like they have so much darkness or doubt left over from the times that they thought that they were making the right decisions and it didn't turn out right, that they're having a hard time trusting anything one way or the other. This person wants a rebirth. They want to rise up from the ashes as a newly empowered version of themselves. One that can be happy. They want a transformation. This is like a soul makeover that is being desired. They just don't know where to begin, or they keep moving against the actions that would give them this opportunity. Like maybe they don't, their faith is displaced. How about this, their faith is displaced for them. Like they believe in what they can make happen through hard work. And the situation that they are recovering from or that they're in is not one where hard work necessarily will be the make or break or the deciding factor in whether they achieve their goals. But this person wants to be seen as the hero. They would like to rise up from the ashes. They want to contribute something to humanity. They want to be taken seriously. They want to be admired, but more so respected feels important. When I said admired, it was like, because people's opinions are gonna, but to be respected. So now that we've narrowed all that down, what is the message I'm delivering today? Y'all, I am just a puzzle piece dispenser. If this message is for you, the pieces will make sense and then you'll start putting them together. Because I am just meant to be confirmation of what you're already hearing, feeling, thinking, the messages you're seeing, so that you know you can move forward, which is exactly what was on the bottom of this. So for this person, your dreams have been giving you messages. They've been telling you what to do. You've been being led through your dreams, like learning stuff on a journey, healing. This gives me the energy of waking up every day feeling just a little bit different, right? But after the hero card was victory, accepting the quest for the ruler of the realm, which seems like some heavy shit, right? Whoever you are, invisible person who's riding waves, choose the wave that takes you up. Choose the wave that you've been ignoring. Choose the wave that everybody else is not taking. It's like your radio is attuned to what's hot, what's in the streets now, what's current, what's all that. When your intuition is prophetic, it is futuristic. You are being led by your higher self, which can see this timeline. It's giving you information about things that you can do now to make sure that you're in alignment with the better future. Those things might not necessarily line up with what you see as hot or popular or what looks like this is like insider trading. Your higher self, Ben, your higher self is telling you that a particular stock is going to shoot up way high in the future, enough to put you back in this position that you deserve to be in, right? But your human self is teeter and tottering on accepting the quest. That's what all that anxiety and stuff was. Like you get the idea and then you're like, no, how's that going to solve my problem now? But you're not listening to the insider tip that keeps coming to you. The opportunity to get your crown back. And the significance of this rule of the realm thing is this also is your direct line. And I would say check logos in your chart. 58534 is the asteroid. Let me confirm. As it is logos. Logos is the word of God, how it's translated to us in a way that we can hear. Yours is connected to your crown, which is Neptune, which is the crown, like directly. Your intuition, your conscious, that is how God is speaking to you. Your higher self is the piece of you that is connected to source. And yours has been trying to give you a play. And I just started looking at stock stuff on the bottom of my screen over here. It's trying to give you to play on a stock that isn't like nobody knows about the stock yet or how much it's going to be worth before it becomes something. But if you invest in the ground floor. But it's sort of cool because it's like the stock is so special that you'd have to be able to hear God or recognize or listen with obedience, even when you don't know why you're listening, in order for you to benefit from it. Like if anybody knew how much this particular thing, whatever it is, idea, because it was a creative endeavor, it looked like, right? If anybody else knew how much this was, they would have been scooped it up. But it's not for everybody. It's like only for those that can see. And this is, because I only use these glasses because I have to stare at this screen. I've been sitting around, and I don't want to say salty, but I'm just like, all right, now I'm in isolation. I've been here for a while. My skills are pretty attuned. I can even recognize stuff when I go out now. Like, why am I here? What am I like pausing for? And I got the message that you're waiting for the one that can recognize you in the dark. I'm like, what does that mean? Say, because outside of this body, because all of these bodies are just shells. Outside of this body, you are a star. And the right person could see you even in the dark. Only go with the right person, because anybody else who doesn't like see you or actually like know that you're a star or get your worth will just exploit it. It's like if somebody had found, well, I guess that is a good example. Celine Dion at an early age, and then they like knew she was going to be Celine Dion one day, they would have treated her completely different. Or she would have went to a label or somebody who did not take as good of care of her. I guess that's the best way to put it. As the person who didn't know she was a diamond in the rough, but they saw her star. I mean, that dude ended up being her husband. Whatever the storyline is with it, I did watch the biopic, and she totally came on to him when she became an adult. So I'm not really on the grooming thing. That wasn't what I felt coming from that relationship at all, especially because that's the only man she stayed with her, like for her whole life. And even though he's gone, she's still like, that was him. But that sort of energy is what I'm sensing here. If everybody knew Britney Spears was Britney Spears when she was like getting turned down for auditions and stuff, it wouldn't have got turned down. They would have just picked her because they knew what she was going to be in the future. That's sort of what I'm getting here. Like you're getting the stock for something that is amazing ahead of time, and you might not like go off your gut instinct. Only somebody who has a connection to God enough to recognize when God says, go do that, and actually follows, gets this crown. You dig? So I'm talking to somebody, and crazy, right? This was under accepting the quest, right? This is shooting star, and this is masquerade. The masquerade card is not everything is what it appears to be. Somebody is behind a mask. And then knighthood. This feels like this knighthood goes along with accepting the quest, because the quest allows you to become this over here. So this was very specific. So now I am going to pull my final pull as I'm closing this up. And I hope this makes sense to somebody, because if it touches even one person, I got a message across that was supposed to be here. I am just supposed to be getting whoever comes my way in position for what they're supposed to do, because every piece to this puzzle, just like that careerist person, it matters. Every different piece of the storyline wouldn't come together without the other pieces. Horrible example I have of this is Saw. Every person in that movie that has a tape connects to the other people that have the tapes, but they can't solve their own mission to do their own thing if they don't work with the other people who have tapes too. That's sort of what Earth is like, guys. Bottom line, you have your tape and your mission, and you have no idea that somebody over here has one that is probably going to get you out of your jam or whatever the case may be. Just as Saturn likes to play like that. I mean, literally, he had somebody or a group of people create a movie based upon the structure, just like Escape Room, that we are existing in here on Earth, just so he could see the ones that were smart enough to recognize it and be like, well played, we're all in a game. So what is the closing message I need to deliver along with this invisible cloak more than words message? Sometimes you just gotta feel it. And trusting and going with that feeling is what leads to the card that was sitting out on my desk. You never see the wind, but it's always there. You've never seen oxygen, but you know it's there. You trust it without seeing. This is absolutely about faith. And first card, creativity. The thing that was being blocked by somebody's rejection of the idea or anxiety around the idea because they thought about it too much. I feel like the thinking too much or the thinking so much that they tear it apart and decide it's not a good idea is coming from lower level thinking. And by lower level, I mean thinking about, maybe it's a very logical person, the state of the world, the stats of the world, the way things are run, what's popular, like all the factors and statistics that has nothing to do with faith. Think back on every inventor, musician, actor, every talented person that has made an impact, right? And how many people rejected them before they got to their greatness? How many people after that person reached their peak was like, damn. Like right now, I'm thinking about the fact that Sia originally wrote Diamonds for Katy Perry. That went on to be one of Rihanna's biggest songs, right? Katy Perry's like, my management never sent it to me, or I totally would have like hopped on it. But like, what if she saw the email and she didn't think the song was that bomb, only to feel like that afterwards? Just as an example, I don't know if that's the case. But that's what I'm getting here. I think that stock market thing was the best thing I could say about this. You're getting an insider trading tip about something that's going to be big in the future before it's big, and you're being asked to have faith to hop on it. And that is going to be the connection or your tape, or the connection tape to somebody else's tape. Like you're in your own saw trap right now. Going along with this insider scoop, this creative endeavor that you got like hooked up with, unbeknownst to you, it was the hookup, right? It's going to pull you out of your trap into the energy that you need to be in. So what's the next card? You're already bound by some sort of cords that are invisible. This is etheric cords. Etheric cords are like soul cords. So this is soul family. What's got you down? This is shame. The other one said create, what was it? Anxiety and rejection. Is that because of this in some way, shape, or form? Because in this one, shame is the thing working against intuition. In the other one, it was anxiety and rejection or fear of rejection. I really want to say rejecting your own ideas because of the ones you made up in your head. This is definitely somebody who thought way too much about this and then tore it all apart instead of just saying, okay, you need more fool energy. The best example I can give you of fool energy is Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, no, that's my best example. Even SpongeBob. It's a character that just goes about stuff and then it just always works out for them because they just stepped out there. Like Beavis and Butthead literally only want to score or find a television. And then they go out there and a bunch of other cool stuff happens. They never score, but they end up right back home and fine. But in this case, your thoughts, whatever your shame is moving against your intuition. So what will happen if this person, this group of people decide to follow their intuition? Keep looking at the success card. This little light of mine. Did you like my jazz rendition? This is Shine, and the one that came out before it was Harvest. This looks like a fiesta. Follow your intuition. And as a little side message, I'm gonna just say it. Cause how does that go with this? Not my business. Not my business. Just deliver the message, Aisha. So not only will you be getting like that crown thing back and some surprise. God wants to surprise you. I feel like I need to say that. And it's a great surprise. You're gonna cry about this surprise, like happy tears, like what? Ooh, so you had this whole idea, that ambition just came back up again. You had this idea about what you needed to be successful, and you actually got that. You got what you thought you needed to be successful, right? But it still wasn't filling. It wasn't like, and then you just got to this place that you don't even know what you want. What would make me feel like it works? Nothing feels like enough. Just a king on his throne and everything is empty, although it's actually full. It just felt empty to you. Like maybe was like overstimulation, if you will. Like you got so much of what you wanted and no longer had any value. It's just like, right? It turns out God gave you what you want. And this time, if you step out on faith, God's going to give you what? Because he knows you like really, really well, going to give you what has actually made you happy in other lives. What has made your happily ever after come together. You have been working based upon the character you know because of your karmic cycles. God knows your soul. And he wants you to get more in touch with your soul too, which you have a hard time doing because of this shame, right? So not only will there be something creative that comes about that restores your crown, restores your, it could even be finances, just restores your bounty, whatever you got knocked off of that had you at the rock bottom, that did not have you in your hero respected energy, right? It's going to give you that back along with, this is Sacred Lust. And you see the lion? That was, I put the other cards up, but the lion, right? A love that satisfies. That's what I'm feeling off of that. Because sacred lust, and I was just talking to you guys about this in the last couple of videos. There's demonic lust, which is based on the physical, the 3D, what you see, right? But sacred lust sort of feels like what it was like this person was seeking, but it's to be filled with the Holy Ghost, to be filled with God, to be filled with something that replenishes your soul. So it's like a deep hunger, but it's like a hunger for the energy of God, which you can get through prayer, meditation, and all that stuff. But in a very human sense, it's through a deeply satisfying sexual experience, like the merging of two people that allows you to tap back into the Trinity energy, right? But this feels like possibly a sexual relationship that is embedded in God, right? But this one's feeling safe, and this one is truth, but it's the reflection of you. It's seeing yourself in a way that's not shamed, but it's through the eyes of somebody else. It appears that you were recently betrayed in a relationship, and there's some concerns you had around love or ever getting love, but that's the past. The fearless love, right, is what's there. This is somebody accepting you even when you aren't able to accept yourself. Like somebody that loves you so much and makes you look at yourself differently. Like, dang, I kind of love me more now. But isn't that great to think like, wow, somebody loves you so much that you start loving yourself more. I think that's how it should be. A lot of times, because of this like era we're in, you love somebody and then you start questioning everything about yourself. Like, because people gaslight you when they don't want to deal with their stuff. They make you feel bad about you. This is like, God is giving you a piece of it. And no, it is female form. or in the form of feminine energy, which is like the Holy Ghost. And then at the end of that, divine lineage. You are getting your crown back. You are getting your Christ spark back, or you are getting an invitation to get your crown back. To step back into a season of overflow. This is divine lineage. It's like God is going to give you a piece of his daughter. You better tread lightly. But it doesn't feel like that's an issue. It feels like you have been put through so much so that when you finally get what you didn't even know what your soul was craving, that you won't mess it up. Like you've already been through every other variation of the storyline in this beginning part of your life. The rest of the life feels like fulfillment. And that's on this path. That's with you putting the logic that is a part of the 3D or the structure of your character that has been created in this life aside, and you listen to the part of you that owns the stock market. That's the best way I can say it. Whatever shame and fear and all that stuff that you aren't able to accept in yourself, there is somebody else who is coming to accept it, but they're coming to accept it in the same way that God is letting you know. Don't know that matter. Be who you need to be going forward, and we'll write that off. This betrayal also feels like it was balancing it out. Like, hey, this nail in the coffin, this last thing here is the thing that's going to make sure in the future you never take love or what you have been given for granted. That you never go stone cold again, is the message I just heard. And 111 is on the clock. I'm going to end it there. So you never go stone cold, and I'm seeing King Solomon, so that you never get turned off by what you have because you have so much of it. You will always be appreciative after this rock bottom if you decide to take the other path. If not, you're just going to keep jobbing it and go further down, like up and down. It'll look like it's going back up because you're being given a chance again to get out that rock bottom, and then it'll drop down again. But if you don't take the path at a certain time, it's just going to keep going because God wants to enlist you in his army. Very interesting. So I look forward to hearing who this is for. I hope somebody say something. Invisible cloak, more than words. If I find out who's behind the cloak, I'll tell y'all. I might do a pull on my own time, but I have to end on the 111 because it feels symbolic. Deuces.